I've heard that you're the Walmart version of Billy Ray Cyrus.
That's what people say, and I was like, I don't know how you get more Walmart than Billy Ray Cyrus. That's what I mean. Billy Ray Cyrus was an achy breaky heart for me when I was growing up. You know what I mean? I loved it.
Hey, Dusty, welcome. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Do people say, I've heard that you're the Walmart version of Billy Ray Cyrus?
That's what people say, and I was like, I don't know how you get more Walmart than Billy Ray Cyrus. That's I mean, Billy Ray Cyrus was an achy breaky heart for me when I was growing up. You know what I mean? I loved it, but I'm like,
we're pretty common because I get told I look like Joey from Friends.
I was going to tell you that when I walked in,
so we fit well together.
I wasn't going to say that second part, but I was going to tell you look like Joey from Friends,
brother.
Yeah.
I see you have a new show coming out on Netflix, The Working Man, and you're really expanding. How do you find that streaming and podcasts with your new podcast work for you to get out there?
I mean, I think podcasts are where it's at now. It's like, it's, I don't know. I mean, for me, it's like, you're on Netflix and then you go and you do these podcasts. Everybody's listening to podcasts. That's all we listen to now. I think people are not listening to radio in the same way because now you have your entertainment on demand. Right? So you just pop on a podcast. Somebody says, hey, this guy's on Netflix. Later, when you're at home at night, you're flipping through, you go, oh, I heard this guy on a podcast. And then you watch it. I think it's very effective. A bunch of people just took pictures of me in the lobby. That's never happened before. I don't even know if they knew who I was, but a chain reaction got started, and I was like, wow, people take pictures with me, but I got bombarded in a way, and I was like, this is weird, but, also pretty cool.
Cool. So when you sit there and you're out on the road, how do you downsize when you're out on the road so much? Because you have a tour going on right now, coming across the country. What do you do in the off time?
When I'm not working, I mean, I do, I thought you meant downsizing luggage-wise. I'm like, oh, man, I have this song in my head by J.J. Cale called Travelin' Light, and I always sing that song even though I am like the heaviest traveler. I got everything. I'm trying to make my hotel room like my house. But when I'm off, I try to get into a little farming type stuff. I'm trying to grow some fruit trees, try to do gardening, just real earthy things, because when I'm out on the road, it's like social media, it's like entertainment, electronics, lights, equipment. So when I'm done, I like to, be grounded and be doing non-screen related activities.
What made you go into this field? Who influenced you to become a comedian?
I don't know that, I used to like comedy growing up, but I don't think it was any comic that I was watching that made me say, I'd like to do that. I moved to Charleston, South Carolina. I moved to a new city where I didn't know anyone, and I took an improv class. I liked doing that. From there, I started doing a little stand-up, and then I was like, started to get good, and I was like, well, maybe I can make a living at this. And that's all I set out to do, was make a living. I actually never even thought about a Netflix special. I mean, we dreamed about a late night like it would never happen, and now I've done 6 late nights. So, awesome. So it's pretty wild for me.
How do you practice your seminar? How do you practice your lines, your jokes? Does your wife bounce off? What do you do? Who do you practice with?
There's really, at this point where I'm at, there's really no way to practice than just be on stage, right? I say we're having a good time. I do a wave. I say I like to wave, let you know when the joke's over. And it's like, now I'm on stage. I'm doing an hour. I got a new chunk I want to do. I throw it in the middle of 2 jokes that I think are going to work. So I'm like, I do my good joke. Here's my new joke. If it doesn't work, I go, we're having a good time, and then do the next joke.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you, how you handle a bomber.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I've not bombed in a long time, but I do have jokes that don't work from time to time, So it's like, you just go, hey, we're having a good time. I think the key is you got to let the audience know that you're okay. Because if they see you bombing a joke, then the audience, I think, starts to feel bad for you or get worried for you. So you got to let the audience know, hey, I'm okay.
If you had to give someone starting out, 'cause you're still relatively young, financial advice, how you're getting forward, how you're planning for tomorrow, what would you tell them?
In comedy or just in life?
In life.
I would just say, really cut all your expenses. There's so many things that you probably don't need. If you have a car that's paid off, but it's raggedy, keep it until you can, save your money and try to buy a car in cash. I mean, I know that's way harder these days than it was even 10 years ago, but all these payments, It really drags you down.
That's that sign there. I really appreciate you coming in, Dusty.
Yeah,
thank you so much. And we look forward to hearing you on Netflix and getting you to see your tour when it comes to Philadelphia, hopefully.
Thank you. I don't know if anybody wants financial advice from me, but thank you.
They better.
We're having a good time. Good.